Welcome everybody to Springboks. Special speaker today, Lindy, Boone, Michaelis, and her husband. Welcome. We're going to begin first, Lindy. You recorded a song in 2024. Word layer. Lindy, please.
I'm singing with myself. When your happy turns to tears and you're broken by your fears, it's so tempting to declare that all is lost. You can speak into creation and build a new foundation, laying word upon the cross. Spend some time with your Creator. Are you grateful that He made you? Do you know that you're a creator too? Your words have superpowers. They can sweeten, they can sour, and you're blessed to have the choice of what they'll do. Word layer. Lay your words down with intention. Pain can motivate invention. Look at nature, how she cycles death to life. That's our model, life returns. Will it be better for your words? Are they life? Are they love? Do they beautify? Spend some time with your Creator. Are you grateful that He made you? Do you know that you're a creator too? Your words have superpowers. They can sweeten, they can sour, and you're blessed to have the choice of what they'll do. Word layer. Stone by stone and brick by brick, we lay our words to heal the sick, heal the body, heal the mind, and heal the soul. Now they can work the other way, so please be careful what you say. Instead of walls, build hospitals. We need each other so. Spend some time with your Creator. Are you grateful that He made you? Do you know that you're a creator too? Your words have superpowers. They can sweeten, they can sour, and you're blessed to have the choice of what they'll do. Word layer.
That was beautiful.
Lindy, you are a part of a family that has been well known in the entertainment industry because you have a famous father, Pat Boone. I'm sure a lot of people ask you, how was it like growing up sort of in the spotlight with your dad on TV, songs on the radio and in the movies? Can you share a bit of your early life growing up?
Well, show of hands, there's some people that haven't heard of my dad, but maybe the people in this room remember Pat Boone. Yeah. Okay. Yes, so I did grow up in a famous family. So for me as a child, everywhere we went, it just seemed normal that people recognized my dad. And we'd see him on TV, and that wasn't, I can't compare it to another childhood as the one I had, and it was great. He was loved. So nothing bad about that. We had a beautiful Beverly Hills kind of upbringing. I started my life mostly from the time I was 5 in the 90210, and then I ended up in the Real Housewives of Orange County in Coto de Casa. So I'm in between though. I've had a range of experience. But it was a charmed childhood. And then when I have 3 sisters. There's 4 daughters, no boys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he wanted sons, they tried real hard. There's only 3.5 years between the oldest and the youngest, one at a time. And then they decided, okay, they have their quartet. And my mom started teaching us to sing, not my dad. My mother used to sing in groups and taught us harmonies. And we'd learn at a very young age how to sing simple little harmony songs. So when we were becoming teenagers and my dad had a tour in Japan, he put us in the show with him. I was 13, and we went with the Osmond Brothers. And so that was so much fun. They were just starting to become famous. Other than the Andy Williams shows, they did barbershop kind of singing, but they were becoming a pop group. And so our families just hit it off, all these boys and all these girls. And our families were both from very spiritual families, and we just did a family show. And it went really well in Japan. So my dad decided, if they liked it in Japan, maybe we'll try it in Las Vegas. And that was our next thing we did. But he kept a good eye on us that way. We still went to private girls' school, very protective. My family was really kind of a strict, protective, trying to keep us insulated in a Hollywood environment. We went to church 3 times a week, and then when we were on the road, it was a way for us to really bond, and my sisters are still my best friends. But we just, as being so close in age and enjoying singing together, there's really something special about being able to do that. And being friends with the Osmond family, they would say the same thing. Something unique when families sing together. They blend in a unique way because you talk the same way, you pronounce words the same way, you breathe at the same times. It's beautiful. So we got to do that for all of our teenage years. And then we started branching off, getting married and having kids, and that's when Debbie had her big hit, You Light Up My Life. Remember that one?
And we have to, your sisters, Sherry, Laurie, and Debbie.
Yes.
And
Sherry, Lindy, Debbie, Laurie.
in
That's
that
how it
order.
goes.
I read about your dad in 1957. He was in a movie called April Love, and he starred with Jones.
Shirley.
Oh, so it has the same name as your mom?
As my mom.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Oh, to complicate things. Okay. And during the recording, the producer asked Pat Boone to kiss Shirley. And he looked at the director and he said, "No, I do not want to offend my wife." But 50 years later, at the Grauman Egyptian Theater, they were remaking the movie. So people like you were asking, yes, they showed the movie again, and there were people, questions and answers. And one of them asked Pat Boone, "Would you kiss Shirley Jones?" And he did.
A sweet little.
And he had a small little, no, but he had a sense of humor about it because
Yeah,
later he
yeah.
said he actually enjoyed it. But he was a very faithful husband. He was married to your mom 65 years. Unfortunately,
Wow.
she passed away 2019 at the age of 84. And I know she's here with us today.
Yeah.
So, Ryan Corbin, Lindy's son, Pat Boone's grandson, 6'4", 210 pounds.
Gorgeous.
Handsome, there's no words to describe. He was a basketball
In
star.
high school.
In high school at the Irvine High School.
Yeah.
He was also president of the fraternity in Pepperdine University.
Yeah.
He was engaged to be married. He wrote his first screenplay and he wanted to always be a writer and a producer. And then, Tuesday, June 19, 2001, can you walk us through, Lindy, the day of your son's, Ryan's injury, and what those early hours and days were like for you and your family?
Divide my life in between before and after June 19th, 2001, because life really changed. Mike and I were on vacation. This is my husband up here in the front. And yeah, Mike and I, we were on vacation with our youngest son. And the phone was ringing in the dark. And I got that disoriented kind of, am I awake? And I looked for the phone, got it, and it was my sister Debbie. We were in Malaga, Spain. And I heard her voice and I thought, this can't be good. And she let me know that Brian had an accident. She said quickly, it wasn't a car accident, but he went up to the roof of his apartment building and he stepped on a skylight, and he didn't mean to. He was stepping across it and he came down on it and disappeared right through it. It broke. And he fell 3 stories. And fortunately, his roommate was with him and able to call 911. Fortunately, he lived close to UCLA Medical Center, and they came right away and took him, but his injuries were very massive. And that just put us on this journey of traumatic brain injury. He had also had his heart stop a couple of times. He had his lungs collapse, and so they immediately had to do surgery. His spleen had burst. He broke his jaw. He had a skull fracture. All these things. I didn't know all of this when my sister just said, all I know is that his spleen burst, and she said, but you can live without one of those. And he had a skull fracture, and then we packed, and we got on a plane. And we took 3 flights to get home. It took 24 hours. And yeah, that was the early bit. And then I walked into UCLA in the ICU and saw my son swollen beyond recognition and every tube coming out. And it was just the beginning of walking through the unknown, and it's scary. And obviously, I think most mothers and fathers would say anything but not my child. You know, we can take a lot, but that was very tough in those early days. So
I wanted to mention something. I met with you a few weeks ago at Restaurant 19 here,
Yes.
and you shared with me that after you got that phone call from Debbie, you were looking to your phone and you were hearing your messages.
Oh.
And what do you hear? Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day
for
for
Michael. What have you learned, Lindy, that you wish you had learned growing in as you had to navigate the emotional and medical maze of traumatic brain injury?
Every brain injury is different. So it's hard to know the most important thing about anybody's brain injury because our brains are so amazing, and where you get hurt in your brain is going to manifest. Some people can talk, but they can't walk. Some people can walk and not be able to talk. There's sometimes behavioral issues. But for me, I think the thing that I wish I had known most is that in the beginning, you're told whatever recovery you're going to have is probably going to happen in the first year or year and a half. And that puts this time clock. You feel it ticking all the time, and that you want to see the recovery immediately. And I will say up front, Ryan did not fully recover, but so much of his recovery has happened after that window of a year and a half. And I wish that I had known that. It would have saved me a lot of angst. I think it is statistically probably true. But I think that's because people run out of money, they run out of insurance that covers the care, and they run out of energy if they're doing it all themselves. So I think that they're trying to prepare you that will be your window. But we've learned that if you can keep the stimulation and keep on providing certain kinds of therapy, whether it's you doing it or some other ways, and in a brain injury, everything can be therapy. You can turn anything into a therapy. So just never give up. That's what I wish I do that automatically. I don't give up on my son, but there's always hope beyond what the doctors say. I think they give you worst case scenario, and the nurses and the physical therapists let you hope a little bit more.
has the caregiving journey looked like for you, and how has it evolved since Ryan's injury?
For me, I count myself very blessed because, well, blessed in so many ways, but we're the lucky ones in the world of brain injury for a couple reasons. One is my father was asked to be on Larry King Live after this happened, and my father asked me to be on Larry King Live, and I didn't want to say yes right off the top. I thought, I'm in an open wound right now. Nobody should have to look at me right now. It's not good. And then I remembered Ryan, and I thought, as a family of faith, and Ryan being just such a faithful guy, he would have wanted me to be open with the public and say, even though we're in pain, we do hold on to our faith, and we know all things are possible. And I had the grace of being able to sit up there and be able to talk without melting to Larry King and just kind of give him a window into how prayer matters. And so that was a thing that blessed us, but also my husband being an attorney, very blessed that he was a rock during this time, and he was able to guide the first year, making sure we had the foundation of what really happened to Ryan, and there was a legal settlement that Ryan got, thanks to Mike and also him finding a good attorney when it got to that point. And so we know that we had enough money that we'd be able to care for Ryan medically and have him in our home and be able to have caregivers. And that's why I say we're the lucky ones. But over time, I did have caregivers. I was still attached at the hip. You know, I wouldn't leave him for so long because I just think moms, we notice everything. And the things that the caregivers wouldn't notice, I thought, I have to still be there until I know. They know as much as I know in what it takes to take care of him. Slowly but surely, and it took a long time before I would go to the grocery store or be gone for any length of time. But we were graced with angels that came alongside and helped us. And went a lot of prayer into that as well. And I looked at what good people were sent our way. And so eventually, I was able to do more things. I look at myself more as mom and a case manager than a caregiver, because we were blessed with wonderful caregivers. But that gave us time to try to help other people.
And writing that book that you wrote, Heaven Hears?
Yes, I was able to write a book that kind of chronicled the first year and a half after Ryan's accident. And I wanted to call it I Don't Want You to Be Alone, but they said that's too long. And they said, come up with something shorter. And really, I love the name that came to me, but Heaven Hears. And they wanted it to be about our prayers, and yes, we prayed. But let me tell you, I believe that heaven was on the site before I even knew what happened to Ryan, and heard the sirens, and heard Ryan's labored breathing, and yes, heaven heard our prayers. But I also just believe Mike and I were able to pray from Spain, holding hands and knowing that the God that was listening to our prayers was also in the surgery room and in the ICU. So I was very grateful.
What is the one thing you wish more people understood about TBI, that's traumatic brain injuries, and brain injury recovery, that isn't often talked about?
I think the stress of it sometimes is so immense that families often don't make it. It really does take a village. It takes everybody helping out. Most people don't have caregivers. And so everybody in the family that can, if they can step up and help, so that one person doesn't go down. If one person has too much pressure, then their health is affected too. And so in our family, I just had so much support between my husband and my ex-husband, who we have a great friendship with and lives close by, and my sisters, my parents. Oh my gosh, my mother came every day to the hospital, to whatever hospital Ryan was in. She moved to a hotel room. She didn't want to stay in my house because she likes it really, really cold. And so she would move into a hotel room, so she and I shared the day. I would be there long enough, and then we'd have a couple hours together, and then she'd stay. I'd go home and see my other son. It's very difficult, and it takes a team and then all kinds of extended family. So I just know that that's one reason our family held up under all the pressure. And so if you're in a family or you see people struggling, if you can help sit with a loved one in the hospital or help them out as any way you can.
Yes, that makes a difference. I also heard Larry King came down to visit him.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit?
Well, one time he wanted to meet Ryan and see where he was being taken care of, and he was in his like 5th facility. And so we were going to be on the show again. I think we did it 5 times, so this was maybe the 3rd time we were going to be on. And Larry, who never did that, drove all the way from LA to where Ryan was, and Ryan was still, he's not in a coma, but he didn't make eye contact, but he had a special handshake that he could remember to do, and Larry did that with him, and it was very meaningful. That show is on all over the world when it was on. 220 countries.
Yes.
Yeah, and they would repeat it, so that's why I say it was quite amazing, and it let us know that there was a bigger purpose.
So you started to write music just recently. Can you share what was the doorway to becoming a songwriter?
Yeah. Yes, I've sung all my life with my family and then also in a singing group called the New Chordettes. You guys remember Mr. Sandman?
Yeah.
Okay, and Lollipop? The Chordettes, the original Chordettes did that, and I got invited to be in a group that was the New Chordettes. So I've gotten to participate in singing and choreography and just show business, but I never had an interest or thought I could write a song. So it really, really surprised me during the COVID days and Mother's Day, when Mother's Day came up the 2nd time around. It was not when it first broke out, but we were still kind of distancing and getting together outside. My daughter handed me a card and she said, "No, I couldn't go to the stores and buy you anything, but open the card." And it was, she gave me an experience, 3 experiences, one of which was, you have an appointment on Zoom to write a song with a Nashville musician. And I was like, thank you. And then she left and I looked at Mike, I go, I don't know how to write a song. And I thought, what am I gonna bring to this appointment? And word layer was what came from that. And I went ahead and prayed about it and said, give me a title, just a title. And word layer came to mind because I had coined that, putting the 2 words together, because during the time with Ryan, I really focused on the power of my words. And what I said intentionally, I didn't want to bring any negativity into his recovery. And I would just speak over him. I just put my hand on him and speak voice and appetite. And just, I'm not saying that everybody needs to copy that. That's what I was instructed to do in my spiritual walk. So I just thought every time I'm speaking, I'm mindfully speaking. And that's why I chose the title. And I thought I better write down what I mean by that for this person I'm going to meet on Zoom. And it all just flowed out. All these words just came to me within that day. And so I said to her, her name is Ann Buckle, we got on Zoom, and I said, Ann, you can change anything. I'm not a songwriter, but she said, Lindy, these lyrics are done. And she wrote the melody for me. So that's the story of that. And then I thought that was a one and done. But over time, I was able to write a few more songs and able to record a few more because they actually are from my heart and from my life and different ways. That's the only one that's recorded with such great recording studio and great video. But they kind of are from different segments of my life and my journey.
So beautiful. So you settled into a new normal. And what does that look like? What is bringing you joy? And we will show the video that you can sing to.
Well, just starting off, my new normal, it evolved over time. You get kind of used to, you find a way to cope with all the struggles of brain injury. Ryan lived with us in the same house in Coto de Casa with caregivers, therapists coming and going, this revolving door. We got so used to that. Ryan developed some behavior after 2 years, and it made life even harder, where he goes into fight or flight if he were to be around a man that he doesn't know. And it involves cussing, and he doesn't know he's doing it, he's not choosing to do it. If a person comes in, it happens to him, and then if they walk out, he has forgotten that he did it. So it's a fight or flight impulse in the brain. And so say, cannabis became legal, and it has been very helpful for him for us to be able to go to church. We just a little chocolate, and he can go to church. He can go to doctor's appointments, take him to a movie on Fridays, and it allows him to not be limited to just his home. And it works better than anything that we tried medicinally. He is happy. He lives in the present moment. He cannot remember things that just happened, but he does remember his life before the accident. So he remembers us, and he remembers where he went to school, all those details. But if he just ate, he forgot what he just ate.
That's
So-
like us, it's like seniors.
I am getting there, yeah. And actually, I think it's been a teaching for me to see that that's why he's content. He's not grieving the past or the loss. He's not fearing what's in the future. He's living right here and now in front of me. And I used to not want to go on vacation with Mike because I would think, I don't want to be away from him that long. But then I would try it, and I'd come back and I'd say, how long were we gone, Ryan? And he'd say, a couple days, and maybe it's a week. And I realized he doesn't know. The minute he sees me, he's just happy. And so I've just learned a lot from him. Yeah. Oh, and then a new joy in my life.
Well, yeah, that's what you're gonna sing about, yeah.
Yes, I finally became a grandmother. Took a long time. So he's almost 5 now, but I waited a long time. My parents were 42 when I made them grandparents, and I had to wait till I was 65. But I want to share this little song because Mike told me that I should write a song for Bryce and our relationship. He just found it very sweet, our relationship, of course. I was just elated to be, as you grandparents know. And I just thought, I laughed. I go, honey, because I wrote one song doesn't mean I can just write a song. But he planted the seed, and the title came to me first, My Baby's Baby. And so I wrote this lullaby, and I love to share it. It's a sweet little lullaby. This is a lyric video. You can see the lyrics if you can't understand what I'm saying. But any grandparent can sing this to their little loved one. I'm getting a second one in November. I felt you in my arms before I saw you with my eyes. I waited for so long, but you were no surprise. My heart has been creating a space for a love that is greater than any I ever dreamed of. You're my baby's baby, and I am one who will always and ever be believing in you. You're kind and you are brave, you are strong, you are smart. You're my baby's baby and the joy of my heart. Peekaboo, I see you again and once more. Ring around the rosy, fall laughing to the floor.
These memories are forever in my heart I will hold. They'll make me feel young again even when I grow old. These days move so quickly, every week something new, and I don't want to miss watching you. Here he comes, so keep blowing me your kisses. I'll catch every one, and I'll keep them in my pocket, my dear little one. I'll keep them in my pocket, my dear little one. You're my baby, and I am one who will always and ever be believing in you. You're kind and you are brave, you are strong, you are smart. You're my baby's baby and the joy of my heart. You're my baby's baby and the joy of my heart. Play it for your grandchildren.
Don't they like to collect stuff like twigs or coins or rocks, and they'll be walking around with heavy pockets, but you have your kisses. I mean, I like the way how you said that his kisses are in your pocket.
I just had that song come to me quickly too. This is a new thing since I turned 65.
It's really special, really special. Really special. Thank you, Lindy. And so what inspired the creation? We're going to move to Ryan's Reach. And what is its mission today?
Okay, so out of all of this, it seemed that we needed to take some of the attention that was given to Ryan's accident on Larry King, and the fact that we had a settlement meant Mike and I, he was getting closer to retirement, and I just had this longing to do something in Ryan's name that was going to help other people in our situation that didn't have all these benefits. And so we started Ryan's Reach. Again, I came up with the same name. Two words that start with the same letter. Heaven hears, Ryan's Reach. I'm I guess, creature of habit. But the reason I did that is I knew Ryan was reaching out to God, his family, and the medical community for his own recovery. But knowing my son, he was reaching out with his other hand to bring other people along with him. That's the kind of person he was and is. And so we started Ryan's Reach in about 2003. We did a lot of things like 5Ks and golf tournaments, and I started to realize, and Mike too, that there are families that were worried about, I'm taking care of my child now, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in the long run, and what will happen to him when I can't do it anymore. And there were no group homes for people with TBI, at least not many, and none around here. And so we had the idea when my father was turning 80, that was 12 years ago, that we would do an old-fashioned celebrity roast, and we did it in a big way. We roasted him, and we had the dais of famous people, comedians, get up one at a time and roast him. And we did it at the Beverly Hilton, and we raised enough money to start our first group home. And yeah, that's some of our residents there. Yeah.
There's Rebecca.
There's Rebecca, that your granddaughter would come over and read to and talk to.
You know, Talia is here.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
a surprise.
Oh my gosh!
Talia, you can get up. You can
Oh my
stand up.
goodness, look at you, all grown up. Wow, that is amazing.
That's our connection.
I always forget other people's kids grow too. The one on the left, there she is. There she is.
That's you.
That's who I remember.
So what's the connection with me and Lindy, if you're asking?
How did we meet?
Yeah, we were interviewed in Channel 6. I met Lindy years back, even before I moved to Laguna Woods Village. I had Talia come to me one day, my granddaughter, and she said, you know what, I like visiting the women's shelters and cooking, bringing the food to them and watching you, teaching them cooking skills. I want to do something different. And then we found out about Ryan Reach. And I want to tell you, just walking into these homes, to see how the people there the survivors are so happy. They're taking good care with compassionate and dedicated staff. So we used to visit. I used to take Talia, and she used to read to Rebecca, and sometimes you said, Shelly, you played Uno with
The guy with the glasses, I forgot.
the one with the
Oh,
glass.
Wayne. Oh, yeah.
She played Uno.
No,
The one on the left. I think the one on
the
the
Nathan, but it could have been any of those guys.
There's a couple of them.
a couple of them.
But these are such lovely, lovely people that have come to live in our group homes. We were able to start the second one in 2019. And right now our homes are full. We have 9 residents. We have a full staff for each home. They have a lot of quality of life. And the caregivers understand brain injury. What had happened before is one brain injured person would be placed in a home for the elderly, and they'd be the only brain injured person there. And similar care, but it wasn't ideal for younger people.
Yeah.
And so we started it. Thanks again. My husband's here. I'm glad he's here.
We're going to take questions and answers. Anybody has questions? And if not, we will hear her sing again.
So really, Ryan's Reach Group Homes would not have happened. I'm the talker, as you can tell, and he just silently gets it done, you know, behind the scenes. So I'm glad he's here today. But we're excited that we're now going to do another fundraiser coming up in November, and it's going to be at the Hyatt Newport. And I have some information here, save the date if anybody would like to know more about it. But we're going to commit to starting a 3rd group home. And because we get calls all the time. Do you have room? And I always have to say, not right now. No, we don't have any room. And so this gala is called Help Us Say Yes.
It's Ryan's
Help Us
50th
Say Yes.
birthday, right?
And it's celebrating his 50th. So we started the first one celebrating my dad's 80th. But Ryan was injured when he was 24. He's turning 50 this November.
It's 26 years ago, and we're on
Yes.
2026.
Oh, yes, yes.
Any questions for Lindy? Yes.
So, what is Ryan's condition right now?
Thank you for asking. I sometimes forget. People are curious. He totally got his language back. So that took, yes, it took a long, long time. Let me tell you, I didn't hear his voice for 15 months. He was moving his mouth, so I knew that he had words, but he didn't have the energy to push the vocal cords and make sound. But even when he did, it was just 1 or 2 words. It was always very limited. So if I asked him something, I had to give him a choice of 3 things so he could choose. He couldn't just come up with the answer. But it was about 3 years in, we were able to unlock his speech pathways with a very unusual thing. I got a call from a neurologist who said, I've been reading about Ambien anecdotally, and when people have given a loved one that's in a semi-conscious state and they're restless, they try to give them a sleeping pill to help them sleep. Ambien sometimes unlocks the speech pathways and they become more alert.
Wow.
And he said, you might want to try it. And so I tried 5 milligrams and it didn't change anything. But Ryan's 6'4", around 200 pounds. And the physiatrist said, why don't you try 10 milligrams? And that day was remarkable. That day he was sitting in his chair. He never initiated speech before this. And he leaned up and he looked at me. I was sitting in Mike's office and he looked up at the wall and he says a full sentence. Is that a picture of Jack Nicholson on the top left?
Wow.
It was a full sentence and I was like, what? And that was the Ambien day. And it started him being able to speak. Now it would wear off and he couldn't talk. So we would give it to him again, but it started the grooving again of the neural pathways for his initiation of speech. I've told so many people with brain injury about that, and it doesn't work much of the time. But I'm so glad that one neurologist called me and said, I'm reading about this, and I tried it. So I tell people that are going through it, just try it. It's not going to hurt, and it could help. But Ryan speaks. He is not able to walk, but he can be lifted up to stand and bear weight. He still has the behavior, which I mentioned before. That's one of the hardest parts of his life, because he doesn't know he does it. So and because his memory is short, it's hard to learn. It's like, oh, I'll tell him, but it's gone. So I'm grateful for the ways we've learned how to navigate. But he now is living in his own house in Mission Viejo with caregivers, all the same revolving door. But Mike and I have never been just the two of us. We've been married 40 years, and I brought 2 kids into the marriage. And then Ryan's accident happened, and Ryan moved back in before our third one moved out. And he's been amazing to learn to be caregiver and group home administrator, and never bailed on me. But I thought at this stage of our lives we deserve a little alone time. And Ryan has caregivers, one caregiver that's been with him almost 20 years, more like a brother, and he's living in the house with them. Other caregivers rotate.
Update was actually, I was going to ask you about the baby's baby, maybe another song for the sibling, but you told me there's something on the way.
Yeah, there's a baby.
Congratulations.
I remember that one time while praying with Ryan, I said, thank you, God, for Ryan's life. And he says, you're thanking God for me? And I said, every day, multiple times. And then Ryan said, it's not a wasted life.
My slumber was so sweet till that unwanted wake-up call. A kind of familiar voice was saying something about a fall. Then time stood still, all I could feel was lost. This can't be right. How could I not have known the paper thinness of a life? The days turned into weeks, turned into months, turned into years. Our lives forever changed and marked by waterfalls of tears. Why did he not get better? Do you think that God forgot? I hear some say it's such a wasted life, but it is not. It's not a wasted life, though at first that's how it seems. With all the waiting rooms and surgeries and never-ending therapies, you wish to God that it was just a dream, but it's not a wasted life. Ooh. The constant twists and turns, the ups and downs and in-betweens, I find myself confused again and asking what it means. Stretching to my limits, holding on for one more day. I lean into God's presence, without words I start to pray. It's not a wasted life, though at first that's how it seems. With all the losing sleep, anxiety, and trying to find a new routine, you wish to God that it was just a dream. It's not a wasted life if you raise your point of view. It's where courage can be born, and it's where faith can learn to soar, and it's where trust can be the door that you walk through. No, it's not a wasted life. Ooh. Though your heart will break, there's a difference you can make. When it's broken, it can open, puts compassion into motion. Life comes from the wound, from the pain flows something new. With tears we see a little clearer. To the hurting we draw nearer. So it's not a wasted life, though at first that's how it seems. With all the setbacks and the worrying and missing out on normal things, you wish to God that it was just a dream. It's not a wasted life if you raise your point of view. It's where courage can be born, and it's where faith can learn to soar, and it's where trust can be the door that you walk through. Then it's anything, it's everything, it's anything but a wasted life. Ooh, it's not a wasted life.
Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I hope to return one day for updates.
That's an A. I'm into A and A. So I took your photo
Oh.
because I want you to come back one day.